Hello, welcome to How About No. Um, on today's episode, it is the beginning of the weekend. It is Friday. So, with that being said, turn this up a little bit, just a little bit. We are going to discuss apparently Melania. Melania, she did she rat on Trump? I mean, what is that? What do you mean by rat? There's proof on the website, so it's not just proof that not also was he partaking. He's also hiding it. He's been hiding it since 2017, right? When he first became president. Was the I don't think they were expecting to get exposed the way that they've been exposed. And it's not just them, it's a lot of people. A lot of people. A lot of people. Well, we're gonna watch this. She came out, and this is Donald Trump, President Trump. Donald Trey Trump, aka Cyrus the Virus, anointed by Jesus himself, aka Giggity Goo Goo. Satan. Turn this down a little bit. Here she comes.
Good afternoon. The lies linking me with the disgraceful Jeffrey Epstein need.
What I don't understand, she has been with Trump for so long. She's been in America so long. You would think that she would have better speaking English by now. Like, not such a strong accent at this point.
To end today.
Nobody's accent stays that strong for, like, their whole life, right?
The individuals lying about me are devoid of ethical standards, humility, and respect. I do not object to their ignorance, but rather I reject their mean-spirited attempts to defame my reputation. I never been friends with Epstein.
Being friends, being associates, being business partners, being blasey spleasy, it's all the same thing. Saying you're friends with somebody means nothing, okay? Right? Are you associated with them? Do you make money with them? Did you help them make money? Did they help you make money? Did they give you inside info? Did they give you trade secrets? Did they do anything to help you better yourself in your life in any way, shape or form? Physically, financially, institutionally, popularity. Said simple.
Donald and I were
We were not friends. I swear it. Is she Ukrainian? What is she? What is she? Like, what's her background? She sounds Russian, doesn't she? She sounds Russian as hell. What's her background? I don't care about all this. We're reacting to this. What's her background? She's from Nova Smesto, Slovenia, Yugoslavia. Yugoslavia. Yeah. Began modeling at age 16 in Europe. Then she moved to New York City in 96. 10 years later, she married Donald Trump. Why would any model move to New York from Europe if they're already successful in Europe as a model? The euro's worth more than the US dollar. Anybody who transfers like that, it makes zero sense, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Because the euro and the British pound's actually more valuable, so working over there means you would make more money, right? There's more taxes over here. But the system's more flawed over here. Because it's garbage.
Were invited to the same parties as Epstein from time to time, since overlapping in social circles is common in New York City and Palm. Social circles is common in New York City and Palm Beach. To be clear, I never had a relationship with Epstein.
Did anybody say she did? Like, has anybody accused her?
Or his accomplice, Maxwell. My email reply to Maxwell cannot be categorized as anything more than casual correspondence. My polite reply to her email.
So, her polite correspondence. So basically, she's saying, if I went with Trump while he was doing what he was doing, that's all I was doing. I didn't partake. I'm innocent. Is that what she's saying?
Doesn't amount to anything more than a tribal note.
A tribal? 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 What does that even mean?
My polite reply to her email doesn't
Who
amount
wrote this for her?
to anything more.
Like, who writes their shit for them? For you to understand it? For anyone to understand this, the normal average person who talks normally and casually, not like this. She sounds like a robot. She sounds like Stephen Hawking's talked better.
Categorized as anything more than
you know she didn't write this. Someone else wrote this for her, and whoever wrote it for her failed her miserably.
Casual correspondence.
They're like, here, go out and read this. It makes no sense. It's just a bunch of gibberish.
My polite reply to her email doesn't amount.
Whose email?
My email reply to Maxwell cannot be categorized as anything more than casual correspondence.
Why do you have her email address? Like, how did you guys get each other's email
My polite
addresses?
reply to her
That's the thing. You don't just get people's email addresses, especially back then. I don't know why people are so quick to give out their email address. It's weird.
Doesn't amount to anything more.
And then everybody's like, I got hacked. I got my shit got hacked. That's probably because you're registering your email to everything that pops up. You ever think about that? Has no one figured out how to use emails? It's like the oldest form of anything on the internet. Almost. That's easy to use. It's email. This has been around since what, 95? Since it was out, it's been out.
Then a tribal note.
Tribal note. Or tribal.
I am not Epstein's victim.
I am not an Epstein's victim? What does that mean?
Epstein did not introduce me to Donald Trump.
Did anybody say that he did?
I met my husband by chance at a New York City party in 1998.
She just lied, didn't she? "1996, she appeared in magazines like blah 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 blah." Hmm. She said she met Donald Trump in 1998. So she had only been in New York for 2 years before she met him. But like I said before, why did she originally come here? Sports Illustrated. The thing is you don't live where the companies are located at when you work for the companies like that. You know what I'm saying? You know, that doesn't make any sense because most of the shoots are done outside of the United States. So why would you live where? Make that make sense because it doesn't at in any way to me. Opiate abuse. How did this become number one? This has got to be false information. People don't read books, first of all, and second of all, no one's gonna buy something from her. Are you serious? Why? I'm not knocking her for anything, but she hasn't really done anything. Like, if you look at this, all she did, like, her personal background is very basic. She was born here in Nova Mesto, Slovenia, Yugoslavia. And then she moved to Europe at age 16. Begin modeling, whatever that's supposed to mean. Europe's pretty gross. What was she doing in Europe at age 16? Probably child porn. Who knows? I don't know. Europe's got some weird laws. Like, it just says Europe. What does that mean? The whole entire states that make up Europe? Hmm. It doesn't get very specific now, does it? What is considered Europe? Because they also call themselves the West. Like, it makes no sense. People put too many labels on everything, and it just says Europe. It doesn't say where in Europe. I'm not getting into her details. She appeared in magazines like CG, Vanity Fair, and Sports Illustrated. So she gained citizenship by marrying Donald Trump. Is that what I'm understanding? Or no, it says they married 10 years after she got here, right? Married Donald Trump in 2006. She said she met him in 2008, though. I guarantee it was Epstein. Donald Trump is business partners with this guy. So somehow this guy got his hands on Melania, funded by Donald Trump himself. Melanie's family, after his father, the owner of a toy company, Harbor, passed away, took over the business. The late billionaire, the former prime minister of Italy, he sold his business to them. He owns real estate in New York modeling. So he's part of the real estate racketing industry that's corrupt as shit with Donald Trump and everybody else that's involved with it. He's director of international development for the Trump Organization, where he collaborated on global projects and investments. So the guy that originally supplied her visa, Trump's literally supplied her visa for her. So for her to say, "Oh, I don't know him," she's lying. There's no way that she didn't know Trump because Trump knew who she was because she got sent to New York specifically for a reason. These two were buddy buddies. He founded ID Model Management in 1990s. Who did? Which become highly profitable by recruiting international models. Following his modeling career, he's transitioned into real estate where Donald Trump reportedly sponsored his career change, helping him become a broker. Is she going to say, "I didn't know"? Look at nightlife pictures. They were having nightlife together. They were hanging out at parties, so they were already very close. If they're partying like that, that means they know each other. There's trust there, they'll go out. The matchmaker role of their relationship occurred in 1988 during New York Fashion Week. The meeting. We're not talking about Zampoli. Oh, yeah, we are. More than 30 years. It's way past this. It said 1990 they were hanging out at the clubs. You don't go clubbing when you're a millionaire with just anybody. You know what I mean? The thing is the 80s is like shrouded in mystery right now because that's when all the corruption really truly started, is in the beginning of the 80s, because it all took place legally into the United States when all the gold standards and shit got dropped between 1955 all the way to like 1978, and then the 80s they took off with their whole entire 30-year plan. It's more years than that, but yeah, but these two definitely knew each other. They were hanging out partying 8 years before them two supposedly ever met. Oh, they just randomly introduced each other in 1998. You know what I mean?
This initial account.
So if she truly believes what she's actually saying, I mean, you started modeling for this guy. She was modeling for this guy since age 16, right? Probably not gonna. Oh, he had his toy company. And a skiing accident. It's funny how many people had skiing accidents. He was selling Star Wars figures illegally. So why is he? How is he selling Star Wars figures living in Italy, being a toy company? Does anybody else think that's kind of weird? The Easy Bake Oven in the 1980s. He started modeling in 1989, and then he met Trump, right? So as soon as his dad died, right? Skiing accident, 1988. He sells the company, and then he starts doing the modeling. So yeah, his dad dies. Look at how coincidental this is. 1988. This guy's dad dies. Immediately, this is so coincidental, isn't it? It's funny how many different people's dads just croaked between like 1980 to like 1995. Everybody's dad just croaked, and then all of a sudden, oh, we're just going to turn our companies into like, focus on sex and modeling and porn and shit. He's on the board of trustees of the Kennedy Center. That's terrible. What does he. How do you go from toys to elite spots like the Kit Kat Club and Moomba? Look at, I click something about Kit Kat Club and then it pops her up. Is that where she worked at? What is the Kit Kat Club? Probably a strip club. Watch. This is a, yeah. Oh, the Kit Kat Club, London, 1984, where punk meets a new wave. This can't be the same club. It's funny how the one in London is a gothic underground club. It's was a notorious adult establishment. Yeah, it's a strip club known for its mobbed up atmosphere and surly bouncers. Yeah, so yeah, the 1990s 1674 Broadway atmosphere, categorized by its plywood stage, aesthetic sticky floors, and cheesy disco lighting. So it's a cheap strip club that mobs ran. Scandal magnet in 1999, Durst organization, who faced lawsuits and eventual eviction. Scandal magnet, Matt Johnson, record promoter, following incidents like the stabbing of a record promoter by Jay-Z at the club in 1999. So Jay-Z hangs out at this place too. Hmm. And they're all in the Epstein files. gonna be like, yeah, he did. He loved it. Yes. Is frequently linked to the Kit Kat Club in New York, specifically regarding a high profile party in September 1998 where Donald Trump first met Melania. So, how can you say he didn't meet her? So coincidental they were all at the same party together. So everything she's saying is complete shit. Multiple reports indicate Epstein was in attendance at the Kit Kat Club during the Fashion Week party. Melania Trump has confirmed she and Donald Trump were sometimes invited to the same parties as Epstein, though she denies he was the one who introduced them. So, what's his relationship with this guy? Copy. Boom. Because this guy, centered on New York life. He's in the Epstein files. Melania's partner. I think this Kit Kat Club needs to be investigated. Who thinks? Yeah, it's only primary documented here. Is this the party where they're all like dancing and shit? Yeah. It said up here, look at it says, yes, Jeffrey Epstein is frequently linked to the Kit Kat Club in New York, specifically regarding a high profile party. And then right here, it contradicts itself. Mm-mm-mm. Creep it, meet creep event. It's funny how everything's just so coincidental. It's not, we are not friends. I was just, my boss was his friend. They were very, very good friends. So they sent me to meet Trump. So is she the plant for Trump for them to take over the real estate industry? What's really going on here? Is she coming out and admitting that she was a plant? That she didn't know she was an actual plant, or did she know she was an actual plant? Let's go back over there. That's not his spelling here. This is just so weird to have your kid being a model and shit at such a young age. Her first professional studio sessions. It looks very sexual. Jerko, while she was waiting for a friend outside a fashion show. So she got saw by a photographer, this stained Jerko guy. She reportedly brought her own wardrobe, shy and reserved, though she became comfortable in front of the camera. Yeah, she sounds like a porn star almost. That's how porn stars act. These photos from the initial sessions with Jerko, often featuring classic 80s look like leggings. Leggings and like so schoolgirl basically. And she brought her own outfit. So she was doing even earlier. She was a model at a very, very young age. Childhood Foundation. She worked at this place. And it's just going to show you this stupid Wikipedia page. So little does she know, Melania, she's part of this whole. She's she's not just part of a club. She got recruited back in the day, and she actually got, she got saved. Maybe that's what they all are. They just send their drug addicts out that we all see nowadays.
I met my husband by chance
Sure, there's a lot of
at the New York
coinkydinks
City
right here,
party
though.
in 1998.
I think we need to do away with child acting, any type of child career, anything. Why are children working in any way, shape, or form? And don't say, "Oh, it's their dream." You got CGI now to do advertisements and commercials, which means why are you using children to do anything? Why have you ever used children to do any type of things like this? What is really going on? Children shouldn't be used for anything. They never should have been used for stuff like this. This is why you have to get a work permit when you're like, what, 16, 15, so that you can actually go work at an actual job and pay taxes. So how do these children pay taxes? How does that all work? Why is it child labor? What are the parents doing to bring in money? Oh, their children are making the money. If that's the case, then why isn't every person on the planet having kids and forcing their kids to work for them? See what I'm saying? What's the difference? There is no difference. And don't say, well, it's because they're talented. Modeling as a child is wrong. I don't care. You want to go to like a little beauty pageant or something that's like for a competition? That's different. But to do it as a career, no. There shouldn't be a big ass spotlight regarding it. It's not cute. It's kind of sickening, if you ask me. You're exposing children as children laborers. It's no different than it's pretty messed up. It's no different than a sweatshop. At least that's honest work. At least that's learning a trade, I guess. Preparing them to become adults. Who knows? They work harder than most people.
Initial encounter with my husband is Dr.
This is an example of a child. Like, what education does she have? Like, how educated is she really? If she was a child actor for so long, what's her actual education? Does not have a college degree, having left her university studies after 1 year to pursue her modeling career in Europe. When did she ever go to school? She had private tutor. Watch. Which means she didn't go to school. Attended the secondary school for design and photography. See how it only starts at like age 15. It's like, well, what about the elementary? See how I tried to early on. During this time, she participated in children's fashion shows for the textile factory where her mother worked. Today, the closed factory is a stop on local Melania themed stores in. So they closed this place down. Rubber products manufacturer. Graves. Hmm. Sure is a weird connection to everything.
Documented in detail in my book, Melania. The first time I crossed.
Let's sponsor our book during a time of war and importance and pedophile, ball, Moloch rituals, satanic, like investigation basically that never took
Crossed
place.
paths with Epstein was in the year 2000. At an event, Donald and Epstein was in the year 2000. The first time I crossed paths with Epstein was in the year.
This is a lie. We just seen that they were all at the same party together in 1998. And then she's saying, well, we didn't meet each other or cross paths until 2000. But you guys were all at the same party where you supposedly all met each other.
Year 2000, at an event Donald and I attended together.
We just read and saw that you guys were all together at the same party. So basically, you met Trump because. Listen to this. She met Trump because Epstein was buddies since at least 1990 with her fashion model boss. Okay? Epstein knows her boss. That's her boss for her modeling agency. And then he's also friends with Trump. So they have this party, 1998. Melania and Trump meet each other, hence Trump gets hooked up with Melania through Epstein and the other guy. They're the two that make the matchmaking. Right? They're all at the same party. They all know each other. The only one that didn't know anybody was her. Apparently, the other three all knew each other since at least 1990, right? Yes, because Trump was hanging out with them way before then. Get it? So she just lied. They were all at the same party together that was literally... Where was it at? The Kitty Cat Club. A strip club. Basically. An adult strip club. The Kitty Cat Club. So they all met at a nasty gang-related, like mafia-related gangster strip club. That's disgusting, basically. It's probably a front. And she didn't see a red flag in it. Being as classy as she is, you know.
This initial encounter with my husband is documented in detail in my book, Melania. The first time I crossed paths with Epstein was in...
You see how she chokes on her own spit because she's lying. First time I cross la 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 la.
the year 2000 at an event Donald and I attended together.
We already investigated it before she even said this. This is a lie.
At the time,
In the early
Donald
2000s.
Epstein was in the year 2000 at an event Donald and I attended together.
What about 1998 at the Kitty Cat Club that all four of you were at? You, your boss, Donald Trump, where you initially met Trump, and Epstein. Epstein was at that party. Because that's the party where they keep showing Trump and Epstein pointing around, and Trump's just like...
At the time,
That's the same
I had
party.
never met Epstein.
If anybody wanted to know,
and had no
it's got to be
knowledge
the same party.
of his criminal undertakings.
Or it's the after party.
Numerous criminal undertakings, and had no knowledge of his criminal undertakings.
I don't think she's aware of any of the stuff that's going on because she's a bimbo. She doesn't have any real education. She's just been used for her looks as a child model, right? Her whole life. And now she just looks, I mean, she looks her age.
Fake
I'm not
images.
going to judge her by her looks because I'm not attracted to her. But, and that's not the whole point of this, but still. It's just, it's to me, it's like I said, it's wrong to have a child work. She's just been working her whole life based on her looks, and she's been traded around by a lot of rich guys, a lot of rich men that are involved with a lot of weird stuff. Like, why would you sell your whole family's toy company? And is that the real true story of the Robin Williams movie Toy? Is this toy movie Robin Williams? Is this the true story of this? Is it? Is he the owner? Has anybody ever seen this movie? Think about it like this, okay? You have a toy company in Europe selling Star Wars toys in the 80s. You know that it's Star Wars. It's one of the most popular sci-fi space novels franchise ever to exist, right? And you're selling it in Europe. Was it not a good seller? Like, were you not bringing in revenue? Or why did you get into modeling and just give up your whole family's company? But the story behind this movie, and this has got Robin Williams in it. Let's see, well, I'll read the AI thing for you guys. Legendary career has been immortalized in a variety of toys and collectibles. Oh, no, 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 no. The movie. The movie. It's toys of him. Oh my goodness, come on. Basically, this is the this sounds like this is the story, this, the friendly version of what happened. When did this come out? 8 years. When did this? In 1992. The dude's dad dies, and then this movie comes out
From
4
Barry
years later.
Levinson, the Academy Award-winning director of Rain Man. And Robin Williams, the star of Dead Poets Society.
I'm in the mood for smoked chicken. How about you?
Comes the story of a man who makes jokes.
I'm Leslie Zebo.
Makes love.
I like you.
Well, I like you.
Robin Williams in a Barry Levinson film.
So this is Paris.
Well, anyways, I was just kidding. Anyways, but it's about, like, it's always about somebody taking out somebody in their family and then taking over the company.
And statements about Epstein and me
I'm not saying
have
that's
been
what happened.
calculating
I'm just
on
saying it's
social
very
media
coincidental. You gave up
for
your
years.
family's whole legacy and it was over a skiing accident. You're just like, fuck it. I don't care about toys. Even though we have the hottest toy in the world right now, which is Star Wars.
Now. Be cautious about what you believe.
Be cautious of what I believe. How about what we read? We just read that all four of you, your partner, not your partner, well, you, your boss that you were a model for in New York, Trump, and Epstein were all literally together at the same kitty cat club in 1998. A strip club, mind
These
you,
images
that's
and
known and notorious for having mob activity. That all these dudes were this is like where this is their kick it spot. You know what I mean?
stories are
The
completely
kitty cat
false.
club needs to be investigated, it sounds like.
I'm not a witness
lot of illegal shit going
or a
on
named
there.
witness in connection with any of Epstein's crimes.
What kind of modeling
My
was
name
she
has
actually
never
doing?
appeared in court documents, depositions, victim statements.
My name's never came up. I'm innocent.
Are completely false. In connector appearance, abuse any capacity victims, any knowledge of Epstein, abuse of his victims, knowledge of Epstein, abuse of
What's classified as abuse?
his victims.
So was she never had, listen to what she says.
Matter. I have never had any knowledge of the Epstein matter. I have never had any knowledge of Epstein abuse of his victims.
She never had any knowledge of him abusing his victims. But were you aware that he had victims? I didn't think he was abusing them. I didn't think they were victims. I thought we were having fun.
I was never involved in any capacity. I was not a participant, was never on Epstein's plane, and never visited his private island.
These people have their own islands. Like Larry Ellison has his own island. It's one of the Hawaiian islands. Like there's all kinds of islands surrounding the United States. Oh, I didn't mean to go to AI mode. There's so many. Like, look at all these. This is Texas alone. Look at how many are just off the coast of Texas. And look at this. Look at the Bahamas. This used to be like, this was the Bahamas used to be the Caribbeans. You know what I mean? Like, this is where, see, this was part of the Caribbeans at one time. Pirates of the Caribbeans, this was their cove. This was Pirate Cove, right? This was the biggest slave trade area for slaves during the Napoleon Wars. This was Napoleon's and Europe's most notorious slave place in the world. This is where they kept them all. This is where they did all their everything. There's all these islands. And now all the millionaires own all these islands. Virgin Islands. Why do you think they're called? Why are they called Virgin Islands? Turks and Caicos Islands, Bermuda. And then why do you think Bermuda is protected? What's really protecting Bermuda? You wonder? But look at how many is just surrounding the United States. Like, this is the United States, right? Oh, I can't zoom in. Well, I could, but I'm not going to do all that. That's the United States alone. But look at this. This is insane. And then you go through over here. It's not like that. Look at Canada. Canada is insane with its private islands. And you can buy these. These are all for sale. See? It's kind of funny how this area right here gets hit with so many hurricanes, right? But why don't you ever hear about the damage that these private islands take? You always hear about what Florida gets, what Texas gets. What about this area? What about all these private islands? They don't get hit with nothing? You know what I mean? Do they not experience anything? Like, it's got to be pretty expensive, the upkeep on these. You know what I mean? Why would anybody want to live out there? With the amount of hurricanes that come through that area. Why do that many hurricanes come through that area? This is right next to Bermuda, mind you, the Bermuda Triangle. What is the Bermuda Triangle? Bermuda Triangle. This is the Bermuda Triangle, which is famously known for a lot of urban legends. I used to study into it a lot when I was younger. They solved the mystery. Is it a mystery or is it like a scare tactic? Or is it a real legit defense system for the Caribbean Sea? Because like I said, the Caribbean islands, these islands in the Caribbeans, they were the number one slave trade routes for everything. So just make that make sense. During the early 1800s, and it was like that way before that too. Because look at what's right next to it. South America, Africa, they can just ship slaves right to there and ship them right to the United States. See? This is legit. Like, Napoleon used those islands because everybody used those islands. This was the slave trade islands. And I couldn't even tell you when it started, but I know for sure that it was still taking place during 1820, during Napoleon's death. Like, this how they, this is how they, like everybody says, like the black people that live in America, this is why they say, oh, we got sent over here from Europe and Africa and blah, blah, blah. Well, no, you got sent here from the Caribbeans because that's where everybody who was a slave on earth was at. And it wasn't just black people, it was Irish people, it was Italians, it was anybody and everybody who didn't fit the system, who went against the system, who just wasn't useful. And that's just the way the world was. You went to the Caribbean Sea Islands and you stayed there. I know when the Caribbean started, because this is right after the pirates got conquered and taken over, because this was their homelands, was the Caribbeans. And the British and Europe conquered them because they stole shipbuilding techniques from, you guessed it, the Vikings. And then they upgraded it even more after they stole all the pirates' lineage of knowledge. See how that works? Their shipbuilding became just masterclass after that. When it came to wood building ships, classic ships, it was because they've stolen so many lineages of secrets of shipbuilders. They've never conquered China's shipbuilders, have they, though? You guys beat Japan. Look at that. It's crazy. But what is it really? Anyways, let's get back to her statement.
I have never been legally accused or convinced of a crime
I had this set up for
in connection with Epstein's sex trafficking, abuse of minors, and other repulsive behavior. The false smears about me from mean-spirited and politically motivated individuals and entities looking to cause damage to my good name, to gain financially and climb.
I don't think you really have a good name. Like, I can't understand what your book's actually about. You were used at your mother's clothing company to basically work as a sweatshop child to make money for the family. Eventually, somebody saw you as a child and said, hey, let's put her in modeling. What kind of modeling? We don't know exactly. But eventually it led to you being partnered up and working for a man who basically sold his family's lineage of toy companies that was selling Star Wars toys at the time. Very big toy. I mean, that was it's always been a big franchise, Star Wars. Ever since it came out, it's been huge. It's been huge. And then somehow, accidentally, you met up with Trump, who was also friends with Epstein, Trump, Epstein, and your boss since the early 1990s. At least 1990, if not longer. Epstein was inside the United States since 1980, so 10 years. And a lot of people got during that time, and then Robert Maxwell got during the early 1990s, and then all hell broke loose. And then Clinton was part of your guys' little fun games too, wasn't he? He used to go to the Kitty Cat Lounge too, didn't he? He probably loved it. He said, I loved it. That's why they're all like, oh, they're good friends of mine. We hang out at the Kitty Cat Lounge together, which is a nasty rundown strip club in New York, where all the rich guys go to get cheap. And she went there, and she met up with Trump for the first time, 1998. With her boss introduced them. My boss introduced us to each other. He introduced us to each other. Oh, my boss, he's also very, very good friends with Mr. Epstein. Very, very good friends. She probably knew Epstein before Trump knew Epstein. I would be more leaning on that, because It seems like Epstein and her boss knew each other way before they came to New York. I mean, they're more from the same area. Get it? They're more from the same continent. You know what I'm saying? So that would make more sense because Trump's from America, isn't he? He lives in New York. He's been in New York. He's
Been in New York my whole life. I love it. It's mine. But it's not. It's not.
I'm politically must stop.
I mean, we just looked it all up. I just showed it all for you guys on Google Basic Search. We just looked all this stuff up.
My attorneys and I have fought these unfound and baseless lies with success, and I politically must stop. And entities spirited the false smears about me from mean-spirited and politically motivated
Mean-spirited.
individuals and entities looking to cause damage to my good name to gain
I don't really think you have a name other than you're married to Trump. That's the only reason anyone knows who you are.
financially.
In reality, let's be honest. The only reason anyone knows who you are is because you married Trump. It's a fact. Because no one... Did anybody know her? Did anybody know her before 1998 or early 2000? I'm not going to lie. I didn't know who she was until Trump ran for president. The first time. I don't follow Trump like that. I don't follow anybody.
I follow God.
And climb politically must stop. My attorneys and I have fought these unfound and baseless lies with success and will continue to maintain my sound reputation without hesitation. To date, several individuals and companies have been legally obligated to publicly...
If she... Listen, this is weird to me, okay? She's saying her and her lawyers...
I was never involved in any capacity with victims, any knowledge of...
If her and her lawyers went
Epstein.
through these files, if she knows subconsciously and in her heart she didn't do anything wrong, why does it matter? Why would she need to come out and say anything and defend herself? Like, I would be the most relaxed person ever, and I would be like, you guys really think I did something? I didn't. I'm not in there. See how chill I am? I'm not in there. And the ones that are in there, she should be pushing for her husband, her president, her sugar pot that basically made her who she is today. And my reputation, your reputation doesn't exist without Trump, first of all. Let's just be factual about it. And I'm no Trump fan. Am I a fan of him being a comedic actor? Sure. Am I a fan of him doing anything past that? No. Because he's just a normal human being just like anybody else. He's not a messiah. He's not some chosen one. And he's not a very good leader. He pretty much messed his dad's company up after he got his daddy's company as well. So, let's be honest about it. He was messing shit up in the early 80s.
Because he's not that very smart. He's just very sneaky.
He's just blackmail.
abuse of his victims.
He's a blackmailer. He's a professional
I was never
blackmailer.
involved in any capacity.
Always has been.
I was not a participant, was never on Epstein's plane, and never visited his private island. I have never been legally accused.
I think that's the biggest thing between him and Epstein. They were competing with who was the biggest blackmailer.
I think Epstein beat you, buddy.
Or convinced of a crime in connection with Epstein's sex trafficking, abuse of minors, and other...
Why does it always seem like the stem of America's problems start from these foreigners that originally are from Europe? Does anybody want to answer that question? Epstein's not from America. The only person that's involved with this entire Epstein shenanigans right now, currently, as we're speaking, that's from America is Trump. Everyone else in this file is from Europe or Israel or Ukraine. Does anybody see this connection? Trump's the only American. Well, he's not anymore. He's a Jewish. He's a Jew. He said he was a Jew. He's no longer an American. He's not an American. He's a Jew. He said he was a Jew. I didn't say he was a Jew. He said he was a Jew. Look at. I'll show you. I'll show you. He said he was a Jew. Trump's a Jew? Question mark? Oh, what was it trying to do? Here. He's been a Jew for a long time. Why do they call him the first Jewish president? They have come out and straight up said, Radio host hails Trump as first. See?
And these people do like Israel.
Hold on.
This is so funny because look at we just read AI and it says no, Trump's not a Jewish president.
And he loves Israel too.
It's true.
2 seconds. Just 2 seconds. 6 years ago, I was up here, and I said, "This is our first Jewish president."
Look how proud he is.
Now he's
Look at Trump just said it's true. Trump's proud to be called a Jew.
It's true.
now he's
It's true. Can you guys believe it? I'm part of the Jewish club.
the first Jewish president to serve. First Jewish
He is
president.
so happy.
It's true.
Now he's the first Jewish president to serve two. Not
10 seconds.
And I said, "This is our first Jewish president."
So during his first term, he came out and said, hey, Trump's the first Jewish president ever. Yay.
It's true.
Now he's the first Jewish president to serve two.
And Trump legit said, it's true. He said it back then, and I proclaim it's true. I love it. It's the best.
Not consecutive presidencies. We thank you
That's
for
right.
everything.
Look at Proud Boy. But if you go over here and ask AI, is Trump a Jew? Question mark. No, Trump is not Jewish. Oh. Then why did he say he was? He said he was. He said it's true. So AI lies. We just proved AI is wrong. He was called the first Jewish president, and Trump said it's true. It's true. It's true. Just like Kurt Angle. Okay? So either AI is lying, confusion after, but he is not Jewish himself. Jokingly or symbolically referred to Trump as the first Jewish president due to his strong support for Israel. Yeah. I don't think this was a joke. Why do they always call something a joke? Jokingly or symbolically? What do you mean symbolically? What does that mean? If you're saying you're doing something symbolically, that means you're ball worshiping. Get off those balls, boy. Let's finish her
behavior.
speech.
The false smears
Because as far as
about
I'm
me
concerned,
from
she's coming out preemptive defending herself. Because we just did a really quick sweep check on her for the last hour, and she's lied about two different things. And the coincidental pattern that's involved with her background and everyone else's background, it just doesn't... It seems like it's a little coincidental.
mean-spirited and politically motivated individuals
I'm not going to deep dive
and
into
entities
it. I just put the
looking to cause damage to my good
together.
name,
Anybody else
to
wants to
gain
touch on
financially
Melania?
and
Go
climb
ahead.
politically must stop. My attorneys
They
and
must
I
stop,
have fought
I
these
say.
unfound and baseless lies with success and will continue to maintain my sound reputation without hesitation. To date, several individuals and companies have been legally obligated to publicly apologize and retract their lies about me, such as Daily Beast, James Carville, and HarperCollins UK. Now is the time for Congress to act.
People are.
Epstein
listed.
was not alone.
So she's mad that the UK
apologize
is slandering
and retract
her.
their lies.
It has nothing to
soundless
do with
lies,
Americans
success,
saying anything
and
about her. Why don't you go address Europe? Better yet, does Europe have freedom of speech? I think the UK has freedom of speech. Or is she telling on herself? And protecting reputations. So she's basically calling out UK to try to make a claim to sue them. Yeah.
the false
That's what
smears
it seems like to me. Because she's being very specific. She's addressing the
Island.
nation of the United States on a
I
United
have never
States
been legally
White House
accused
platform.
or
mind you.
convinced of a crime in
She's
connection
being
with Epstein sex
held
trafficking,
accountable over
abuse
to
of minors,
Europe. So she
and
probably
other
has her own
repulsive
file
behavior.
and record over in Europe,
The false
especially with
smears
her
about
former
me
people.
from mean-spirited and politically motivated individuals and entities looking to cause damage to my good name, to gain financially and climb politically, must stop. My attorneys and I have fought these unfound and baseless lies with success and will continue to maintain my sound reputation without hesitation. To date, several individuals
reputation
and
only
companies
remains
have been
intact
legally
as long as you're married
obligated
to Trump.
to publicly
If you and Trump get
apologize
divorced, you'll be known
and retract
as
their lies
former
about me,
wife
such as Daily Beast,
President Trump. But
James
guess
Carville,
what? He's already
and
had one of those, so
HarperCollins
that's
UK.
not very relevant. There's nothing
Now
special.
is the time for Congress
Just like he's
to
already
act.
had a wife. You're not very
Epstein
important.
was not alone. Several
You're
prominent
nothing
male
but to boost
executives
his
resigned from
image
their
to other
powerful
men to
positions
show
after
that he
this
had
matter
basically his
became
own
widely politicized.
model.
Of course,
He basically
this
bought
doesn't
you.
amount to guilt, but we still must
Sounds
work
like you're
openly
an owner.
and transparently.
Sounds like she was owned by the modeling company ever since she was a little kid. She was just traded around in the modeling agency, and then all of a sudden, boop, she ended up with Trump.
Uncover the truth.
Is that what being a child model is?
I call on
Get traded
Congress
around
to
until you
provide the
finally
women who have been victimized by
meet
Epstein
some random guy
with
that
a
buys
public
you and makes a
hearing
deal with whoever the fuck
specifically
you're signed to.
centered around the survivors.
Seems like it.
Give these victims
It's exactly
the
what happened to
opportunity
Beyonce.
to testify
I mean, this is
under
the funny thing is this is the same time era that Jay-Z and Beyonce met as well. Did they meet at this kitty cat club?
oath in front of Congress with the power of sworn testimony. Each and every woman should have her day to tell her story in public if she wishes,
If a
and then
woman,
her testimony should be permanent.
does it have to be specifically a woman? Can we just say anyone and everyone should have their chance to not necessarily tell your side of the story? If the story gets told and it is the story of truth, do you have a side to your story? Or is what you heard not exactly the truth and you're questioning it? Kind of like what I'm doing right now. Because this is the side to my story. Just like she admitted, every woman
public, if she wishes, should have her testimony in front of Congress with the power of sworn testimony. Each and every woman should have her day to tell her story in public, if she wishes.
Each and every woman? Is this like some old Viking shit? Pagan ritual laws? It's not about a specific gender or race. Anybody should be entitled to do this if they wish. Not just women, not just blacks, not just whites, not just this, not just that, not just Christians, not just atheists, not just anything. Just people in general should be entitled to this right. Homo sapiens, hominoids, human beings, legion. Well, however you want to classify yourself, chosen ones, spiritually awakened, Christians, Jewish, British, Europeans, Russians, Chinese, like there's so many different people. Everybody should be entitled to this. Tell their story regarding what, though? Because we also have a thing called disorderly conduct. And if you're like this whole narrative just sounds dumb, but I'm doing exactly what she's doing right now. I'm doing exactly what Melania is doing. I'm telling my story based on my own factual experience of what she's telling me, what we're looking up, what is known in the data archives as actual proof. Okay? If that says you were there, and there's records of you being there because maybe there was pictures taken and you know what I'm saying? It happened. It's factual. Just like we just showed you that this can always be wrong as well because it said no. Trump never said he was Jewish. Since his first presidency, he's been proclaiming to be such. I mean, he literally went to Israel himself and became legally a Jewish person. And now all of a sudden he's not Jewish? He doesn't want to be Jewish anymore?
Oh, what's the matter, Trump? Don't want to be Jew? Why not? Is it you to be a Jew?
I don't know. You tell me. There's no such thing as a J way back in the way day. So without the J, what does it do?
It's
anyways.
And then her testimony should be permanently entered into the congressional record. Then, and only then, we will have the truth. Thank you.
What? Then and only then we'll have the truth. Well, you lied a few times, okay? We proved you in real time that you lied. And then she does a mic drop. So in other words, she came out on the public national presidential platform base to address the UK and people within the United Kingdom for slandering her name. This isn't your little private little platform for you to do a video chat message, okay? That's not what this is. As a matter of fact, you're actually just the first lady, okay? This isn't a social platform. This isn't for you to come and make propaganda threats to the UK. This isn't what this is for. You're not even supposed to be using this. You're the first lady. You, if anything, you should be using it to support your husband's actions and anything that he's doing while he's currently serving as the president of the United States, because your job is just to support him as the first lady. What did you win? Did you do any debates? Does the first lady have to debate? How about we initiate that as a law? If you're married, since everybody's like, well, the president's always married, it's good if they're married. Why? Why is it good if they're married? Does it matter if they're married? Does it represent anything? Or does it show that you're ripping a family all to hell by putting them in office like this? If they don't even have their own lives together and they live in lies. Who closes the doors, or are they automatic? Are they censored? Is there someone hiding behind the doors? No, there's people. I've seen them. There's Marines. Door pushers. Literally door pushers. Anyways. I'm gonna have to just do this. Is that her name? Is that her real name, Melania? Melania? Is that how you say her name? Melania? I don't know how to say her name. She basically addressed the UK. So that's what I'm gonna label this as, and I'm gonna end my stream and restart it because this was, to me, this was dumb. But I shall return. She's full of shit. She don't know. She's so not aware. You can tell she's not aware. They're like, go out there and read these things and then come back. She's like, okay. She doesn't even know what she was reading. She probably read it a few times or glanced at it before going out there, but no. She's a puppet. She's just Trump. She's just Trump's wife. That's all she is. Okay, she's been that way. She's been a puppet ever since she was a kid. Okay, she's been used ever since she was a kid. Do I feel sorry for her? No. Why should I? She's proud of it. She's written books. She's got autobiographies. She loves it. She loves that lifestyle. She loves being around a bunch of pedophiles and a bunch of sick rich people that are just interested in, child modeling and, eating children and child porn and all that other crap. Child labor. Yeah. Using their children to work. Anyways, we shall, I'll be back on a different episode here in a little bit. We shall return. Hope you enjoyed this one. We'll be back.